friends. Thanks for being with Casey and I tonight. The goat is screeching over there. That's funny. Hey everybody, thanks for being with Casey and I here at Bootlegger's Crossing. Boy, what an exciting night we're going to have. Haven't been here for a while, and we are on the Knoxville West End Line, where after it goes past these two diverge points, there's a tower here, another signal tower there. Outbound traffic, inbound traffic, two diverge points, Knoxville West End up to Knoxville, Atlanta North End down to Atlanta. So, I got a couple more things to do. Got to get the scanner and stuff on. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and spin you back. You can probably hear the goats. And this is looking towards Chattanooga. And that'll give you an idea what a rail haircut looks like, where Saw in the Sky cleared both sides of that track, so it looks nice and pristine like you see right there. So like I said, I got a couple things to do. You guys get comfortable. Let's have fun. And remember, there is no horn before that crossing until you get right here. So, you never know when something's just going to pop out right around that corner. Everybody, good to have you. Let's go ahead and get ready. Let's get the scanner on. And we are going to have some fun. Hello, 8 right.
Atlanta Road Foreman train 371. And Atlanta Road 371 over. Atlanta Road Foreman train 371. Good evening, guys. Hey, got this HP alert. I show you at 306. Shows you got to be 12-1 and 44 to run that second. She's running after Rome, but from Chattanooga to Rome, shut that second one down. And don't make a special stop to do it, but if you stop somewhere and plan stop, you shut that second one down. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What you guys said? Say knock the second one down. That's correct, over. Alright, that, you're not good for all three on the 10 grand. Nope, you gotta be 12 on 30 before you can run that second one on me. Hey, I go knock it down. Okay, like I said, when you stop and do your set, pick up whatever you got at Rome, you can put it back on. I will do. Thank you, driver. You have a good day.
Alright, that's train 371 that he's talking to. And there is train 371 is just discussed pulling into Ottawa. So that conversation applies to our train. Hey, how are you?
Good to see you. I haven't seen you at all summer. Where have you been at?
Everywhere.
Oh, you haven't been here, though?
I haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, I wondered. I thought, I didn't see much.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
I did make it over to that other place we were talking about.
Oh, the water tower?
Yeah.
I like the water tower.
It's funny. The funny thing is, I went there, and first person I saw was a cop. So I pulled up and said, hey, I'm supposed to be here? And he said, I've seen the problem.
Yeah, they've never, they're up there a lot.
I only saw them one time when I first went up there.
They weren't old.
I did go up there one time, and when I came up, I think something interesting was going on. They left.
Yeah, but you'll see them there all the time.
What's the deal? Is this normal, all these little white bugs that you can see?
I don't know what they are.
I've never seen that before in my life.
They're all the way down to Dalton, and sometimes they get so thick, you're literally breathing them. They get so thick. Hi!
Hey, you guys got a radio?
I do. You got a radio?
Yeah.
Right? And I just was listening to that. Does he drag you out here all the time? Well, you just joined the crowd. I'm Rail Moments. We're live right now. And that's train 371, as you heard.
Oh, yeah. What's he waiting on?
Do what?
Said they changed the numbers?
Oh, yeah, they change the numbers just every day. I have a friend that keeps up with all of it, and it's like, if it's train 1 or train 2, it doesn't make any difference. It's still a train. I'll hear the number when they come. And they've added the new Amazon train, so you see all the smiley faces go down. I think it's 3 days or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of changes. But that's what makes it fun.
Hey, like this, Mike, this was the other day. I think you want me to see that 2 green lights.
Nope, not every day, that's for sure.
That's pretty cool. I saw one of them, and then the other one, I waited about 10 more minutes, and I said, And then I got back to Cleveland and I heard him. I said, well, I guess he must have.
Yeah, it's two straight, one going left, one going right. And he's doing something with one of the engines on, I think, the second back locomotive.
Oh, something's wrong with it?
No, I think they either had a conversation. I didn't get quite the whole conversation, either turning one on or turning one off.
He's not waiting on another train to clear?
No, well, he might be, but the conversation they had was he'd stop there, and like I said, I only got part of the conversation. I didn't hear the whole conversation. But there's no something with the second locomotive back.
Where else have you been this summer? What all places have you stopped at anyway?
All over. I mean, it's a little bit here, everywhere from Cowlin down to Atlanta to.
Oh, did you go to Estelle?
Yeah, I go to Austin. It's kind of like all over. I spent a lot of time at the Railroad Museum, down to Somerville. They're running the steam engine tomorrow.
Oh, you're talking about the one out of the what do they call it? The place over here off.
TVRM, Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum.
Do you work for them?
Oh, you
don't?
Nope.
You just go down and meet up with them?
I just go down and film because the steam engine has been on the weekends a lot. Once a month they go down. Once a month they
Have you ever done that excursion before?
A bunch of times. It's great.
You guys are still on the minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, just a second, thank you.
I thought I'd wait until it gets a little cooler. It seemed like it was kind of warm.
Well, say you can do open car or you can do air conditioned car, and they're getting ready to do the leaf tours down to Somerville and that all of October and the first weekend of November.
Does it get more expensive in the fall?
I don't think so. I just never really paid that much attention to the price. It's all about the experience.
That's
There's not too many places left on the planet that you can get to do that.
yeah. Now the one I was going to Asheville a few weeks ago, and I saw the one that goes along the Natalia River. And that looked like it was pretty cool. I mean, it was.
Yeah, they do a real cool one up along the Ocoee River as well. It goes out up to Copper Hill and back.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. And that's part of TVRM.
Oh, really?
Everybody, as you heard, that was a conversation with train 371 that's here in front of us. Something to do with the second locomotive back. And I didn't catch if we were turning it on or we're turning it off, but something to do with the second locomotive back. So they discussed points where to stop, and he said since he was here, this was going to be his place.
So to see you guys, I go to railmoments.com and then you can just, all you do is go to the website and you can watch.
Railmoments.com, and if I'm live, you can just, there's 2 live cameras. One's on all the time, which is on the CSX line.
Where's that at?
CSX line is...
Well, I mean, where's the camera on the CSX?
Oh, 122.8, which is there by Audubon Acres.
Oh, I think I hear something.
I think you're right.
Coming from Cleveland. There's one from Cleveland, you never hear.
I also haven't got a chance to look yet.
I've been wondering about it, because I've seen a lot of them that come from Knoxville. They're the double stacks, but they have the tarps on them.
That's the trash train.
Those are what?
That's a trash train.
Really? And so there's trash inside there.
It's 15T.
You see them quite often, and they only go towards Knoxville. Where do they actually?
They come down from Pennsylvania.
Really?
Every one of those is loaded with compacted trash as much as they can push in there and what have you. And they go down to Alabama.
Whereabouts in Alabama?
Someplace outside of Birmingham.
What do they do with it?
They put it in massive landfills. Massive. And that train goes, I think it's pretty much every day. It's not every day, but pretty much every day. A full down and an empty back. And yes, it smells. But it's completely full of trash.
Now, you would think in the summertime you'd be like, man, what is that?
He runs all year. Never stops hauling trash. Alright, he is diverging clear out of Ottawa. $47.90, $47.80, a pair of AC 44C 6M. Almost brother and sister there.
You got a full grain train out of Nebraska, doesn't you?
Yepper. Lots of grain. He diverged and he is on his way to Atlanta. Well, that was pretty cool. And like I said, there was a conversation about the second unit back. And everybody, look who's with us today. Boney McPhoney. Y'all picked his name. Boney McPhoney is hanging out trackside with us today. He wanted to give you a profile look before he looks back to the track. Our signal bridge for traffic outbound from Chattanooga here in Ottawa, Tennessee. As the sun drops over there behind that big old cloud. Knoxville West End Lines here at the 227 milepost. Big old pile of new railroad ties there. And whoever stacked those, they did a pretty version there. All nice and neat, and kind of about as OCD as you can get. A stack of railroad ties. Looking back towards Chattanooga. There were the Knoxville West End Lines. Track 1 to your left, track 2 to your right. don't know if you can see them, but in the air, there are just thousands of little tight, little white tiny bugs. I mean just thousands of them. And they're not any bigger than a pinhead. Like I say, I don't know if you can see it, but whoa, they're just everywhere. And if you do hear a goat, ask Buddy the goat and his family right over there behind those trees to your left. Maybe if I use the green as a background. There. There you go. That is not snow. Those are tiny, 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 little white, fuzzy bugs. And not a few of them, a ton of them. So depending on how fast you can count, that'll give you an idea how many there are. And if you know anything about them, I'd love to know. Because when I tell you they're tiny, I don't know how they have enough room to have anything in them to make them live. It's just amazing. And there's a gazillion. I mean, just a gazillion of them. To the point where you're almost breathing them. There is the double mile post for the 227. They're on the Knoxville West End Line. In and out of Chattanooga for Norfolk Southern service to Knoxville and Atlanta. Everybody, thanks for being on. If it is your first time, raise your hand. Let us know. Any questions you have, somebody is on here has an answer. We'll start with 8 right and go from there, but we will figure out an answer. That is a private crossing. That used to be a through road, but once they did Little Debbie Parkway, they cut that road. And it's no longer, it's just somebody's private drive. Sometimes in the evening, at dusk, we see deer. Maybe we will tonight. If you go around that curve, keep on going, you'll end up at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, and then up at Brown and Citico Junction, where you can either make a right and go across the C&O and TP, or make a left and go to the DeBuck's Yard, Norfolk Southern's hump yard, second largest yard classification type of its in the 22 state system for NS. Or you can go on the pass-through tracks, go out the south end, and make your way to wherever you want. Down south towards Birmingham, go west to Memphis, north to Nashville. You pick your destination. Thank you, everyone, for all the thumbs up. You are live. What you see, basically I see. What happens? It's just like you're sitting here with me, parked in your car, watching the next event as a rail fan. And if you've never been to Bootlegger's Crossing, it's very historic. Back to, and exactly what it says, back to the bootlegging days during Prohibition, when the train and the bootleggers worked together. And some of the folks that we've met here, their ancestors from their family tree way back when were involved. One was telling a story how you'd put money under a rock, and when you came back, there'd be your booze. And the moonshiners would work with the train, move the product, and a good time was had by all. And that made this historic spot, where once upon a time this was James County. But James County went bankrupt, so Hamilton County said, hey, we'll help you out. We'll just take over James County, call it Hamilton County. You won't have a county anymore, and you'll be our county. And then they had all that land annexed in, and that's what happened to James County. If you go over to the Whistle Stop, it's a restaurant just around the corner, right on the Atlanta North District line. And there's an old pre-Barney Fife patrol car there with James County on it. Anybody trackside tonight? Let us know. Anybody want to be trackside? Let us know. Make sure you subscribe. As you know, it helps the channel. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your relatives. Or just stop someone along the street and say, hey, check out Real Moments. Our little white bugs, it must be bedtime because they're starting to disappear. Craziness how many of them there are. Hello, Chuck. How are you? Hello, Crash. Oh, no kidding. Hey, if you get a chance, send us a picture of that maybe. If anybody's got a picture of that plaque that Crash is talking about, that would be cool to see. Sometimes when we're over at the spooky water tower, so there's a gentleman that lives over there who used to, where the Ottawa Depot used to be over there as well, which is just a couple blocks from where we are. He used to, as he said, schlep the bags in hopes he'd make a dime or a quarter for handling the bags. It is just a beautiful evening. The sun just fell behind a tree. Excuse me, not behind a tree, but behind a cloud over there. It is just picture beautiful up here. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, 4501, all dressed up, going to be leading the excursion down to Somerville. And yes, it is our intention to be there. So, and it's all dressed up as either 669 or 699. I forget which number it is. If you look at the video from the private photo shoot that night, you'll see 4501 all dressed up for Founders Day, and it will be leading the train tomorrow on the excursion down to Somerville, where it's not long until the leaf tours start. Oh, Boney McPhoney He said he'd love to get a ticket and ride that trip. If you've never taken an excursion on TVRM, please make sure you do, because it is an experience that you will enjoy having done. Casey and I and Danny and Kayla, all of us, we've all done many, many trips, and we've always had a good time. And the staff, Bo, Brian, everybody have all just been incredible. So it's 6:23 Eastern Standard Time. Oh, look what we got. See that big old wave? And there goes a Canadian Pacific locomotive. Well, he wasn't here for a long time, but he was certainly here for a good time. There's our signal tower for the outbound that he just crossed under. That was pretty cool. Canadian Pacific locomotive coming around that corner. And that's what makes rail fanning so much fun, because you never know what's next. What kind of locomotive, what kind of train, what kind of power, and definitely never know what's next for graffiti. And as y'all saw, our conductor opened his window and gave us a huge wave. That was awesome. Well, everybody, I'm going to take me with me. Y'all going to hear that noise. There's old Boney McPhony. Yeah, I just tuned you in to his jawbone. Hey kid, look at this. I'm doing my own quality control, kid. Woo, that sunlight's bright. Look at that, you guys. I just adjusted me. The tablet, the camera runs through the tablet, through the MiFi, which provides the Wi-Fi and the internet. So when I come over here to talk to you, if I'm not in focus, I tap and I'm in focus. If I'm too big, too small, too far, too fat, too skinny, too whatever, I just fix it right here. So this goes on top of the camera on this great big stand, and there eventually will be a different mic. Ray's working on which one we're going to select. That's a directional muff, spike mic, whatever you call them, it's technical. That old Boney McPhony and I are going to carry here on Production 6. So, as I talk to y'all, I see me here. Don't forget, catch of the week. Just cause Dirk hasn't gotten out, you guys, doesn't mean y'all gotta stay in. Catch of the week. Anything that's train related that you enjoyed. Be it butterfly on a track, artistic, old depots, particular power, special something special, white face whiskers, NS locomotive, a CP and an NS together, a heritage locomotive, an old depot, there's just so many different things. Casey and I, we pick a total of 9. Ray picks best composition photo out of everything that's submitted. And then Casey and I each pick 4. Best graffiti, favorite locomotive, favorite picture, and most artistic. And then Casey makes a short that he normally releases on Monday. Every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live from the studio where there's Casey's just got all kinds of combobulation stuff. He can look at this, look at that. Y'all do chat GP with him and all the different things. And he can pull this up, pull that up. Send your submissions, stills or videos up to 30 seconds with no music. What might work on your channel may not on ours because of our status with YouTube as monetized channel. It is very particular about what it will or won't allow. So make sure those videos just have the noise around you. The locomotive, whatever. So catch of the week and then just send it in railmoments.com 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Anything that you think was cool and fun, we throw them all up. If you haven't participated yet, haven't hung out with us on a Sunday night from 5:30 to 7, take a look at them. There's about 15 of them now that we've done. And just go to railmoments.com on YouTube, take a look at them, and then you'll get an idea. And the cool thing about doing it, you guys are all over the country, literally. we're broadcasting. Anyone in the world with internet and YouTube access can watch right here, right now, chat with you. You can chat with Grandma in Finland if you wanted for free. Just tell Grandma, get on YouTube. Y'all can chat, no cost. And keep up with each other and how everybody's doing. Don't forget, October 18th, way out back to Catch of the Week. Just send it into railmoments.com. And there's a slot there. You just drop it on in. If you have a problem, you can also send it to our Gmail email address, fromrailmoments@gmail.com. And today is the 26th of September 2025. So when I talk about that, or why do I tell you the date, you already know that, because there's many people that will watch this 6 months from now, a year from now. You may want to go back and find out what was a woolly amphid and how many of them there were. And you're going to say, what was that bug? A woolly something. And what was it Crash called it? A woolly. No, it wasn't that. And you'll go back and you'll look it up and you'll see where Crash told you they're woolly amphids. Or, what was it? Her Colt told us, which is Kid Outdoor, about dry bugs. And ain't right, all of you. They rub their legs and dry bugs, wet bugs, noisy bugs. I forget what all they are, but we just covers all kinds of subjects. And anytime you're hungry, just ask Ain't Right for a picture of what he had for dinner, breakfast, or lunch. And if you weren't hungry, you will be right after you see what he had. So look at this, you guys. Here's you looking at me, and me looking at me. So there's two me's. So it all runs through the tablet. I can sit on the tailgate and do this and that, or in most cases, it's up on a stand up above the camera. And from there, I watch what's going on and kind of see what you guys see. So when you hear this sliding noise, if you can hear that, that's me putting it back on extend. And so often when you guys are up here with me, you see a car go by, and usually it's a license plate not from here. This is a dead-end road. Once they put the highway in for Little Debbie's Parkway, you no longer could go all the way through. So as we zoom all the way in, you can now read the signs. You can't come up here and dump. And authorized vehicles only can go up and over that hill, I guess, because I'm not really sure where you're going to go, because the road ends there. There's a cul-de-sac, and then you come back here. And we're learning how to run this thing. There's old Boney McPhony. Y'all picked his name. And he's facing the railroad tracks. He's waiting for the next train. And if you've never been up here, first of all, there's this huge, massive parking area where for generations of families have rail fanned here all along this parking area. Here along the tracks, there's just tons of room. And there's the big old pile of riprap that they left behind after the washout up by the gas station when they had the mudslide here a few months back. As you can see, there's railroad ties. And how many times have we come up here, they've redone that track or that crossing there over and over. They've put enough asphalt on that right there. and then dug it up, then put it back down again. And then over there around the corner, looking back towards Chattanooga, is the curve through the trees. And because there is such a curve, when we look at the signal bridge, it's hard to see until it gets darker the light indications, just because they are turned so much for the locomotive staff to see when they come around that curve. So let's see if we see any deer tonight while I catch up with everybody. Well, it looks like the dinner train has pulled out from TVRM. I believe that was the dinner train that left TVRM. Signal indication by Summit. That is not far away from us, is it, John? Well, hello, Jonathan. How are you and John tonight? Dirk, what are we going to do to get you out more? Been all kinds of stuff go through at all different hours this week. 4822 went through here this morning about 5:30 this morning, and then went west to Decatur. That red and black locomotive snuck through here in the dark. And if you don't think it's not dark here, swing by, because there is not a light. Just like on the bird cam where we chat during the day and y'all keep up. The bird cam is in the middle of Audubon Acres, which is a bird sanctuary, and you cannot find a light anywhere there except when CSX comes through. Well, hi, Mama Bear. How's Q2 tonight? You still working a gazillion hours? Everyone, tell Ray hi. He's the guy with the wrench checking on me because I have had my challenges this week. Ray will tell you, Mike and technology do not belong in the same sentence. I showed up Tuesday night at Ray's house and Casey's, and it was like, here, fix me. I had no idea. Where to start? I never even made it on Tuesday night. That's how challenged things were. Ray, so far tonight, I have not had the tablet disconnect from the setup, and I have not had any separation issues where the two were not functioning simultaneously. There is the 227 milepost on each side. If we're lucky, we'll get to see 29F tonight. And there's a new Smiley train that's going through, I think, 3 or 4 times a week, I was told. High priority, full of Amazon stuff. We were talking earlier, the gentleman that was up here hanging out with us, about what are all those cars with the tarps on. And if, again, my memory gets a little shaky now and then, but I believe it was Crash that named it the Stinky Pete, or maybe Tony, one or the other, you guys tell me which, that named the trash train Stinky Pete, because all those Marisac cars with the canvases across the top are loaded with Pennsylvania trash, or trash from up in the Northeast, we'll just say. And not a little trash. There is lots of trash. Siren there in the background. We're only about a half a mile from Interstate 75 and maybe a mile tops from Interstate 75 at exit 11. Yes, that is a goat you hear. Buddy the goat was right over there. If you were on that driveway, you'd see Buddy probably with his head stuck in the fence. Let's see what CT has to say. 370, main 1. Clear Ottawa. Here comes Ozzy! Look at the skull! Of steel. .370 around the corner, coming up from Atlanta, main 1. Alright, y'all gonna hear that clang again as I pull the tablet down. That's my buddy, Phony McHomey, right over there. Phony McHomey. Y'all picked his name, not me. And it's Boney McPhony. I'll get it right. Boney McPhony. Alright, somebody was asking. I gotta tip y'all up just a tad. See how cool this is? I can stay out of trouble with Q1 this way. If I'm too large, I can see that. And if I'm not focused, I do that. Alright, we were talking about the MOH train. The Medal of Honor train that is coming up on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. And hats off and kudos all in the same sentence to CSX. And for those of you that don't know, the Medal of Honor Museum is here in Chattanooga and originated here. Now, because I don't remember well, I got notes. Thanks to Chuck. There are a total of awarded to Medal of Honor recipients 3,547. And you may ask, why did they put the museum in Chattanooga? Reason being is, for those of you, which is probably all of us, familiar with Andrews and his Raiders. Andrews was a civilian. The rest were military volunteers for this behind the scenes, behind the enemy lines, where they were going to steal a locomotive and burn bridges, cut telegraph lines, pull up ties, pull up rail to stop reinforcements from Atlanta of Southern forces by rail when the Northern forces started their attack to break out of Chattanooga up on the Battle Above the Clouds, on Lookout Mountain, and there on Missionary Ridge, where they all ended up down in Chickamauga at the Chickamauga Military Battlefield. First military park in the United States. So anyhow, the first 6 Medal of Honor recipients were from the Raiders, and they are buried at the Chattanooga National Cemetery. And those were awarded on March 25th of 1863. And this medal is so prestigious, it is awarded and signed off by the President of the United States before you get one. 15 more were awarded the Medal of Honor later in September of 1863, making a total of 21. 2 members of the Andrews Raiders from the 21 total were awarded the Medal of Honor. And 162 years later, on July 3rd of 2024, through President Biden. There are only 61 living recipients as of now, here in September of 2025, of the MOH, the Medal of Honor. And approximately 20 of them will be coming to Chattanooga this weekend for the annual event with the Medal of Honor Museum. So, they, CSX, and I don't know exact locations, I do not know exact times. There are rumors that I think 1776 is going to be the engine, but I don't know. So if anyone has more details, I know on Tuesday morning, I believe after breakfast, they're going to board someplace down by Big Shanty, and it will be family and guests of the Medal of Honor recipients that are riding. And there will be reenactors on the train that will cover, and the train will travel the path that the general took the day they stole it, where Andrews and his raiders got off to a successful start. And they will come up the W&A sub, and they will end up in Ringgold at the Ringgold Depot, where there is a private event there at the depot. So all day long, they will be tracing Andrew's steps. If anybody has any times, if anybody has any more information, please share it. All I can tell you is it's really cool. It's going to start on Tuesday around breakfast time, and they're going to make their way north. And there's a couple news articles out there. I think Channel 3's got an article out there. The Medal of Honor Museum has information on it on their website, so check it out. Haven't looked to see if there's any more detail, but I'm going to this weekend. And tomorrow, we'll start off at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Going to test out the new system there. It is much, much different than before and more detailed. So, be a different look tomorrow there at the Railroad Museum. So join me in the morning, probably by 8:30 or 8 o'clock is the plan. Thanks to Chuck, he's going to hold down the fort so I can be on the loose with you guys. And John, if you're listening down in Somerville, I'll see you tomorrow. And John in Rossville, make sure you get out and wave at that train when they go through Rossville. So, I keep looking down to make sure I'm okay. I can see me as you see me. We see me together. So, getting towards dark, it's getting close to time for 29F if it stays on its normal schedule. It is beautifully quiet. About 100,000 of those little white woolly things that Crash told us about have started to disappear. There's only a few of them that are lost. So I'm going to swing you all back around. Anybody new, please, questions, feel free. Someone's on here will know. Crash, John, everybody has so much different information that they bring to the table. We should be able to answer any question y'all have. Casey and I appreciate you all being with us. If it's your first time, please subscribe. Tell others so they can subscribe. As you know, that's the goal, and it helps the channel. And all this equipment and all these different things we do and travel to and what have you, and all the fun I have with y'all trackside. When I came, there were 3 different cars, groups up here watching, one up here, one over there, one down there. One couple came to have dinner here at the track. They were eating fast food. All I saw was French fries, and they weren't sharing. So let's go back trackside. I'll stay caught up with you on... Actually, I'm going to put this back on the tower, because now it is a tower. Every time I take it on and take it off, you guys hear a ka-chunk. We have a stink bug hanging around on the camera. We had a bee floating around earlier that fell in love with me for some strange reason. There, you tighten back up now. There's old Boney McPhony. Y'all picked his name while we were up at... Where were we? Oh, we were up at Coffee's Cliff. He's hanging out. He's watching the trains tonight. October 31st is coming fast. Here is the Ottawa Cemetery. This thing is massive. And there are some super old graves in here. Some of them are literally nothing more than a piece of rock. The dates and the names have weathered off of them. I was going to try and see if I could see just how old they are, but there are a lot of tombstones dated back in the 1800s. And you'll never guess who just appeared. There's a look through. And Jesse and Mrs. Jesse
Hi.
have just arrived. Hang on, I said, whoa, he's huge.
I'm huge right now, I bet.
Yeah.
You didn't adjust your lens there.
Even when I adjust it all the way out, all I can get in is literally his smiling face. Now we got in a little bit of his shoulders in. There's a tad more of him. What's new with you?
Not much.
Hey, look, there's Mrs. Fallon over there.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, that was the bride that y'all met, what, 2 months ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse's going to catch you up on his news.
I have news.
I don't know. Do you have news?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't have any news, we'll go back to the track.
I'm going to Somerville tomorrow.
Oh, 6 hours.
Oh, yeah. Well, in the next...
Oh, there could be 29 epics. About time for him. Oh, and there's a phone call. Young's UPS's. Ahoy, it says. Or at least I think that's what it says. Kind of a shaky A. And we just talked about how it's time for 29F, and boom, Jesse pulls up. 29F heard he was here, said, okay boys, we can go now. Jesse's there. And here he came around the corner. Wow, that's kind of a beautiful sky over there. Look at that, you guys. It is just an incredibly beautiful night. So anyhow, we had talked about the Medal of Honor train. I haven't had a chance to go back and look to see if anybody had any questions or had any information. So first, I'm going to go back over here so we can see the sunset looking back towards Chattanooga. There we are, Trackside. As you can see, the new camera is a little bit different than the old. It doesn't quite coordinate as well during that transition period. Once it gets past the whole dusk thing, it picks up very well, it appears, from being down in the yard the other night. But right this moment, it makes things just a tad darker there, it looks like, on the bottom. So, Mrs. S was calling, so I'm going to leave you all looking back this way for just for a moment. I'll be back in just a second. Don't you all go anywhere. Did you have any news you want to tell anybody or no?
I can talk about my upcoming adventure in Virginia.
Sure. Everybody, y'all know Jesse. Here, you want to come on over there? Come about right across from Boney. And you have to talk a little loud because it's not on the second. Boney McPhoney.
I like it.
Boney McPhoney. Everybody, I'm introducing Jesse to Boney McPhoney. He's looking at me like, huh? But y'all picked his name. Y'all picked his name. All right. Jesse's going to fill you in on what's going on with Whistleboard Productions. And I think he's going to chase the train down to Somerville, where a year ago, which is hard to believe, I picked him up off the road a year ago while he was on that chase. So anyway, anybody, meet Jesse, Whistleboard Productions. Talk loud.
All right, so I don't know if Mike told you guys or not, but yes, I am going to be chasing the Somerville Steam Special tomorrow. And what makes tomorrow's trip a little extra special is 4501 will not be 4501. They have masqueraded, and in English that means made to look like something else. They have made 4501 to look like a Central of Georgia MacArthur, which during World War II, a 282 locomotive, which was previously called a Mikado, Mikado being a Japanese name. The Mikados were renamed MacArthurs because, as you all know, in World War II, we were enemies with Japan, so heaven forbid we have a locomotive with a Japanese name. So, throughout World War II, 282 locomotives were called MacArthurs. And Southern 4501, being a 282 Mikado or MacArthur, is going to be, has been put in its 1940-ish to, early 50s appearance, but not Southern, Central of Georgia. Now, a little bit of story and a little, well, not really a story, but a bit of a fact about Southern 4501 that maybe not everybody knows is the tender that is currently being used by 4501 is not its original tender. That tender is a Central of Georgia tender. Southern 4501's original tender was a bit small, so whenever it was brought into excursion service, they wanted a bigger tender so they could, go longer distances without having to refill the coal. So they found a Central of Georgia tender sitting around. They cleaned it up, restored it, and now it is the tender that's being used. And if I'm not mistaken, 630 uses 4501's old tender. I think that's the case, but don't hold me to that. So again, 4501 for tomorrow's excursion will be number 669, and it has a beautiful red Central of Georgia logo on the tender and up on the cab. Another note is the front number plate, which we all know is usually red, is now black, and instead of being a flat plate, it comes out at a point. So you have two number boards on each side, and that sits right below the headlight. So it looks a little bit different, but it is historically significant because the line to Somerville is the old Central of Georgia line. So for you history fanatics and those rail fans who care about history, kind of like myself, you get to see a Central of Georgia locomotive appearance on the old Central of Georgia line. So that's a really cool thing that's going on tomorrow. So if you can, get out somewhere and get a picture of it while it looks like a Central of Georgia locomotive. Now, that's tomorrow. Now, next weekend, I will be going up to Virginia. Now, if you've been on social media any in the last bit, chances are you've probably heard about Norfolk and Western 611 returning to the Buckingham Branch Railway for the Shenandoah Valley Limited. They are going to be running a series of 5 weekends of excursions. They started today, and they are running until the end of October, the last weekend of October. They run 2 trips a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's lots of different varying levels of, passenger cars you can ride in, anywhere from the coach class, the cheaper class, all the way up to
it's called economy.
Yeah, economy. Even though the economy really isn't economy, but I believe they might have a dome this year. I know they had some dome cars last year. I don't know if they do this year or not, but there's varying levels of class of passenger car you can ride in. So I'll be heading up Thursday night and be chasing all weekend. I plan on going at least 2 weekends, maybe 3. We'll see. But I'm going next weekend, and I'm not going to promise any live streams because chasing the steam engine is very difficult. And I did it 2 years ago, and it's very intense, especially up there, because there's one main 2-lane road, and lots of people like to pace the locomotive and watch the wheels go around, which, yes, it is cool to pace the locomotive and what have you. However, some people think they have to do it for 5 miles in order to be satisfied. So then you have a 10-mile long line of traffic of people who are trying to get somewhere else to get another picture. And it was so much of a problem last year that locals were complaining about traffic. Other rail fans were complaining about traffic just because it was a safety hazard. I mean, I witnessed people blasting through school zones during school hours with kids letting out of school, just doing 20 25 over the speed limit just to get the next picture. It's not worth it, quite frankly. So my goal this year is to step back and immerse the train in the scenery. And I'm going to go to a few repeat locations that I went to 2 years ago, and there's also several new locations that I want to go as well. But I will definitely try to get up some, maybe a short little video after the weekend of some of my highlights and what have you. But it is going to be a very, very busy weekend.
Is that next weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yes. And then the following weekend, I'll be going back up there, and as a little birthday present to myself, I'll be riding behind the train. So maybe I'll show you guys.
Y'all picked up on that. He didn't get a birthday present he wanted, so he made sure he got it from himself. Yes. I like that. If nobody gives you the birthday present you want, there's always a solution. Just put it in a package from you to you, and then you get it.
That's right, and I'm very surprised and appreciative when it happens. But no, I'll be riding one of the excursions on my birthday, which I think is neat. I've ridden behind several steam locomotives on my birthday. 2 years ago, I was fortunate. No, not 2. I was thinking it was 3 years ago now. Rode up on the Great Smoky Mountain Railway for my birthday. That was neat. But 611 is one of my favorite locomotives. I've been around it ever since I was little bitty. My dad used to have business meetings up in Roanoke, and every now and then he'd bring the family along with him, and we would go to the Roanoke Museum of Transportation where 611 resided. And so I've been in love with that engine ever since I can remember. I went up and before it went to Buckingham Branch, it was in Strasburg for a little while. I went to Strasburg, my dad and I did, and we saw it there. I rode in the cab there. Unfortunately, couldn't take any pictures. They didn't want any cameras in there so as not to distract the crew, which it was frustrating, but I understood. We want to keep everybody safe and alert, and what have you. So there won't be any cab rides this time, though. At least not I'm doing. There are cab rides that they are auctioning off, but you better have deep pockets, because the starting bid is $1,600, 1600.00. That's the starting bid. So they're going to go for much more than that. That'll be a cool ride for somebody, but that's a bit too expensive for me and Mike.
Nah, not on our birthday present list from us to us?
No.
Well, darn.
Not unless somebody wants to fundraise us. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll start us a GoFundMe for a cab ride in 611. But I'll try to. The coolest place, station-wise, up there is Stanton. It is a curved station platform. So the station platform curves like this, and the train pulls in, and they unload and load passengers. It's an old Chesapeake and Ohio station. It's you know what? It's just like Stevenson. There is a small hotel right there beside the depot, and there's also a phenomenal restaurant. My friend John, I think you've heard me talk about, he and I went up there, and we made it a tradition at the end of the day, where we only ate peanuts and water to survive on. We treated ourselves to a nice meal in the station restaurant, and the staff got to know us, and by the third time we went, they knew us by name, and they were very, very nice, and what have you. So needless to say, I'm very excited for this trip. I'm excited to get some good pictures and to ultimately share it with everyone. And I hope that it's enjoyed by you guys too. If you want quicker updates, if the video takes longer to get uploaded, go to my YouTube channel. That's Whistleboard Productions. You'll actually see a picture of 611 as my channel logo. And I have linked just beneath my description, I have my Facebook page linked. And on my Facebook page, I'm a bit more active than on YouTube because I post photos on Facebook, and it takes nowhere near as much time to upload some photos than it does the video. But speaking of videos, I do have 2 new videos up. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video of my chase of the Delaware and Hudson NS Heritage Unit over the joint line. That was a very, very fun chase. Nice to see the new Heritage Unit. And then, just a couple days ago, actually yesterday, I uploaded a video of my chase of the glowworm, which you guys saw with Mike. When was that? That wasn't too long ago, was it? Y'all saw the glowworm?
Last week?
Yeah.
I think the first part of last week.
Because I believe, I chased it 2 days after you saw it. Yeah. So I followed it from Jersey down near TVRM. It went up to C&O and TP. I followed it all the way to Dayton and got several good shots along the way, even though I forgot to start the camera in Saudi Daisy. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. So that content is new up on the channel right now. I'm working on a video of a chase of the CSX law enforcement unit with the RS5T horn. And that's the next small video project that's coming. So I think that does it for updates from me, Whistleboard Productions, and everything. And I can't thank Mike enough for letting me advertise my channel so openly on his. We're good friends and we like to help each other out. So.
It's always good to see you. And everybody's saying hi to Mrs. Jessie. Mrs. Jessie is Bethany.
Yes.
And Bethany's loves to hike and stroll and burn calories and travel for miles.
Speaking of, you know, the whole Medal of Honor trend that's coming, Bethany loves Civil War history. As a matter of fact, she likes, what she's doing right now, since we're at the cemetery, she likes reading the grave markers and seeing, you know, who people were, if they were military or where they were from, and it's neat to kind of get a glimpse into what might have been, you know, some people's history and whatever. We just might get her out on Tuesday. She says she wants to come. So depending on when everything runs, she might come out trackside with us. So there'll be a whole bunch of us.
Oh my
there.
goodness, who is she?
Yeah.
We got her tracking on trackside now. Woo! This Mary's moving fast.
Yeah. We got anything coming, Mike? Oh yeah, we got a green light.
How do you know?
Because I can see it.
Oh, is it dark enough to see?
I think it is.
As we had talked earlier, those are curved so much.
Yeah, I think it's lit up.
It's hard to pick a color, see the colors. Oh, Jesse's right.
Yep, it's lit up.
We've got a green for a diverge going down to Crash in Dalton. Crash has 26C coming our way, which will be dark by the time it's here. But
Headlight. Or glowage.
We're so trained. It's not a headlight, it's glowage. goes John's Golden Beaver. What do you think, Boney? We had a good night. We got to see Jesse and Bethany and everybody else that's been up here tonight. We got to see a Dash 9, a Canadian Pacific. We just got to see a Canadian National. No, what did we see? Canadian something red. Anyhow, we got a Canadian something. I don't remember what I saw. But it was cool. It was a surprise. Canadian National, I think. I'll have to go back and look. There was so much going on, I don't remember. I was just excited. Anyhow, we've got regs everywhere. Crash just had 29F clear to go. I saw, and I'm going to look one more time, I see that 1776 is going to lead the Medal of Honor train with the reciprocates on board. So, 1776, as y'all saw the note, will be leading that train on Tuesday. So that's an extra detail that we didn't know for sure. There's a lot of rumors floating around. So we're going to give it just a couple more minutes in case something just happens to pop in. While we do that, we're going to go ahead and start packing because A, there's no lights here, and B, when it becomes dark, the mosquitoes have learned they can sneak up on you. And let me tell you, they take turns tactically making that charge across the weeds. So, I'm going to pack. We'll watch that for a little bit, and then I'll be back, see if there's any last questions. Anybody got any questions for Jesse? Let me take a look. We'll ask him.
That's the tree day. That was really, yeah, you can see it down there in the picture.
Yep. Let's see. Catch up here real quick before we start packing. Crash is sending 26C to us, so if anybody's over Trackside between us and him, that's coming your way. Oh, kid's dealing with allergies, bless his heart. 'Tis the time, 'tis the season for one of those allergies all the times, it seems like here. So, good to see you, Q1. Just figure out how to deal with them and get over them and get back onto that track and get some more pictures. We've been missing you. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you there on the signal bridge while we pack. Boney McPhoney needs to get inside. He's getting bit by the mosquitoes, and they just go right straight to his bone when he gets one. Up here is what they're seeing, and there's your level of volume.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Well, the bats are out. Hopefully they eat some stuff. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a toss-up whether it's the lights or, wow, is this ever beautiful over this way?
This one doesn't pick up like that.
Doesn't think it's quite as golden. At least from what I see. But what I see here is a lot different than what they see at their end. It's a lot more larger and more colorful and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
think I took forever to get ready before?
Nothing sort about it now, huh?
There better not be anything coming that we want to see right away. I hope the color of that is coming out on your end, because from where Jesse and I are, that is a beautiful golden color. I mean, just beautiful. We're packing. Y'all hang out for a moment, and we could get one come sneaking in real quick. But pretty soon we're going to turn this back to the mosquitoes. I need to get the county and all the grass. Yeah, Boney rides up here in the window and looks out at people. Will you confirm that it's leaving at 9 a.m.? Because I'm going to be there. Thank you. Oh, it's bad. What is that? Hear it? Mm-hmm. That was one of those spirits.
It is approaching the spooky season. It's hard to believe September's gone. It feels like it just got.
Halloween in 30 days is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to City Cafe if you guys want to go.
Right now?
Yep.
I'll ask her when I head to the house and go. Or since we're cooking. I think it's like 10:30. God, let's go to bed.
Got married and head by 10. Well, everybody, there's one bat flying around here as we bring our evening to a close. There's our signal bridge, and now you can see all of the different lights, and you have a great poker hand because at this point you do have 4 of a kind. Everyone, thanks for being with us. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum Mama Bear, you're right. That is just beautiful. Robert, ragweed and goldenrod season. Oh boy, how lucky are those of you that do not like those items. The one thing about the Tennessee Valley, it has one of everything when it comes to allergies. So everybody, it was great to see y'all tonight. We will be back trackside, Jesse and I and everybody else, Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum in the morning, probably about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because Jesse thinks early starts at 5 a.m. Mike thinks it starts at 9, and we will struggle, or at least I will, to be there by 8. He will have already had breakfast, 3 cups of coffee, run 3 times around the track, and set up 6 cameras. So, between that, we're going to have fun in the morning. All right, everybody, we will see you. Hello, Casey. We will see y'all at the next crossing. Casey, tell Ray I'm taking pictures.